We have a lot of moments during this show
Yes.
where we're like,
Yeah.
maybe we shouldn't include that.
Not mine because I'm fantastic. But
Sweet. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tea Talks. We have the beautiful Laura Beth here today with us, with the Heart River Voice, plus the Music Association, plus you teach violin lessons.
Yes.
You are just like Wonder Woman.
I don't know about that, but I enjoy it all, so it's good.
When did it all start? Like, when did you...
Well, I'm newer to the area. I
Uh-huh.
only moved here a year and a half ago. So when I got married, I moved here. My husband was from here, and I was from Wisconsin. And so I moved here, and I took a couple months to kind of settle in to being married, and then just sort of started teaching a little bit and advertising for that and starting to build a local studio. And then just gradually, he was involved in different things, so I started just getting involved with what he was already involved in, so that I could start to meet people and make some friends, because I didn't know anybody here before we got married. So just started getting involved that way, and it's just sort of developed from there.
And then you became part of the Music Association?
Yes, so in September of last year, we both became members. They'd been after him for a long time because he's also a musician. And then we got married, and they met me and found out I was also a musician. So they really started riding us to join. And so we finally joined, and they asked us to be on the board. And so now my husband is the president of the Concert Association. And so it's been a lot of fun being involved in that and bringing in different artists to the area that we wouldn't have an opportunity to see or hear anywhere else. So.
Do you feel like you're able to reach a lot of people, like they know that this is going on in town and that it's something they can attend?
Not necessarily. We, this last summer, we ended up getting out into the community. We were at every Bandshell concert, unless we had an association meeting that night. We were at all of those. We were at several different events, Taste of Culture, things like that in town, just to let people know, because the Concert Association has been around since like 1952, but not many people know about it. And I think a lot of that has to do with there are so many new people in town because of the oil boom. And so we have a lot more young families, whereas our membership up to this point has been older people who've been members, forever. And they're starting to move away, or, they're not able to get out and around and come to concerts. So now we're really drawing on the younger families and encouraging them to bring their kids, because it's so important to expose kids to music if you want music in the community. So.
Definitely. And you do that by teaching your
Yes.
violin lessons.
Yeah, I've been able to build a local studio, about 20 students, and it's a good mixture of children and adults who've always wanted to learn but never had the opportunity. So it's been a lot of fun working with them and seeing them kind of just do it, just get out there and do it. It's always embarrassing to start something new, especially as an adult, but it's a lot of fun, and it can be a really good challenge, especially during the winter months. Nothing else to do outside.
Right. Come join you.
Yes, come take lessons.
So are you, what kind of musicians do you bring in, I guess?
For the Concert Association, we bring in a really good variety. Our first concert this year was kind of it was harps. It was called Harps and Chords, and so it was a vocalist and then a harpist, and she played a classical harp, and then she also had the looping system, so she could record and then play against herself. And they did such a wide variety of things. She did a classical piece, just her, on harp, but then they did some things that she had written, singing and playing. And then the vocalists, they covered Lady Gaga, they covered Pharrell,
I saw a recording of this, and I was like,
so
this
good.
Is so cool.
It was so much fun. And it was a great first concert. We pretty much packed out the auditorium. It was so much fun. And everybody, they had something for everybody. They did La Vie en Rose and Bad Romance. So it was like a wide variety of styles, but it was done in a really unique way. So much fun. And then the next concert we had was strings. It was a cello, violin, and piano. And they covered different movie music, some classical stuff, but super high energy. We have a classical violinist coming. We have, at the end of the season in the spring, we're having a men's a cappella group. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Gosh, yes.
And then we have an accordion and a clarinet coming together. to do a concert. So I'm not sure how that one's going to turn out, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So we try to bring a good variety, so it's not just classical. And years ago, we were just talking about this with the association, the board members. They said years ago they remember when it was all classical. But there's such a wide variety of music.
Yeah.
And within a community, there's such a wide variety of taste. So if you want to draw and introduce music to people, you have to get them to come and listen to things that they might go, meh, I don't know about that. Get them to come because you never know. Last year we had a flute concert. I don't like flute, but that concert was amazing. He blew me away. He was fantastic, and he did some different like penny whistle type stuff. He was from Ireland. So he had some of that flair as well as like movie themes and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun.
He traveled from Ireland to Dickinson.
We work with a management company out of Minneapolis, so they managed him, and so he came and they do a tour, of a few states, and so then we book them, and then so we've actually already had our booking meeting for next season, 2020,
I'm
2021.
So excited.
So
who's gonna be next?
We have some incredible concerts coming up next season. So yeah.
How exciting! Where do they hold these concerts at?
It's a mixture. This year we have 3 of them at Trinity and 2 at DSU. So it kind of depends. Once we book the artists, then the management company Allied, they look at it and say, okay, we can fit you in here with their schedule, and then we have to see what's available here. So either Trinity or DSU. That's always where we host.
I'm so excited that you're talking about this, because I feel like this is kind of like a hidden gem in the town. I think live music, like seeing that talent, is just one of the coolest things to experience. Yeah. And so now that I know about it,
it's a lot of fun. I love the Concert Association because we do bring in artists from other places, but there are a lot of local opportunities to hear music from local people as well. All summer long we have the Bandshell series through Parks and Rec. They host it, and it's fantastic. And even when the weather is bad, just go to the ice center because they move it over there, so it still goes on. But a lot of people don't know about that either. So those concerts tend to be really poorly attended because people think, oh, it's raining, they're not doing it. They still are, just not outside.
Yay!
Yes.
I'm like, everybody, I hope they know this now so we can go and just, it's so much fun. I went to the Bandshell concert. We biked from home. We packed like a picnic, and then we had our blanket out and listened to the music. A beautiful summer day. It was so much fun. And
it's
if you
perfect.
have kids, what a great opportunity, and free, right?
Yeah, the Bandshell series is free. So we went last summer. Last summer was my first summer really being here and not involved in other things that my husband was already involved in. And so I pushed him to go to those because he hadn't ever really done it before. And he's lived here for over 20 years. So we went, and it was just so much fun. Again, a wide variety of artists, things that you wouldn't necessarily think that you would enjoy. But it was really fun to see different people from not too far away performing. And then there's the local things, the city band and strings that people can get involved in if they play any instrument. They can get involved in that, or just attend the concerts. They have one concert around Christmas and then one in the spring.
So you're really involved.
Well, I think music is important. Yeah. It's so important. And I've actually talked to people who've come to different things, especially the Concert Association. I actually have a student. She's a DSU student. And she told me a couple weeks ago when I was talking to her about the Concert Association things coming up, she said, actually, the Concert Association is why I'm learning violin. And I didn't know that, and I've known her for almost a year and a half. She started almost right away. But she said a few years ago she went to a Concert Association concert, and they had a violinist. And she had always wanted to play, and she just said, you know what, I'm going to do it. So she bought a violin and then just started looking for a teacher, and that's how she found me. So it's important. If you want your kids to be involved in music, or if they are involved in music, bring them to concerts. Even if it's not their instrument, bring them, because it will inspire them to be a better musician, to really put in the time and effort, or inspire them to learn an instrument that they may have never thought of.
Definitely.
So,
do you recommend that people, I guess you say it's important to have music in your life. Why? What does that mean to you? Well,
I mean, there are studies that, talk about how music affects us internally, emotionally, mentally, all of it, and it's so true. But I mean, just the structure of music and the focus of actually learning an instrument can teach you so many things: how to problem solve, how to communicate, how to listen. I mean, it teaches so many things, and I won't go into all of that and bore you to death, but there are so many things that kids can learn from music and just from making themselves do it that they may not get other places.
What do you get out of it?
For me, it can be a little bit stressful because I want it to be perfect, but if I allow myself to just breathe and play, then it's so relaxing and it just helps me focus. And it's so much fun learning a piece and then figuring out what the composer wanted to say with it. And then, okay, but what do I want to say with it? What story can I tell? How do I relate to what they were saying? And then how can I share that with someone else? So storytelling and communication and just building relationships really is what music is about for me.
Are you and your husband ever going to perform at the Bandshell concert?
Good question. I don't know.
Appearance.
We would have to be asked. They haven't asked us yet, but they did. They're trying to get some more local groups. I think my husband should perform a concert, but I don't think he ever will by himself. Now that he's graduated, he doesn't have to. We both enjoy performing with other people much more than solo.
That would be so fun. You guys should just get a big group together and...
I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be great to get an opera project out there to introduce that a little bit. They did...
Ooh, I would love that.
Our friend Kelsey Rogers, I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she's also connected with DSU, and she organized the Badlands Opera Project, and this last year was their first one, and now I'm not sure when the next one is going to come, but they did two short operas that were based on fairy tales this last year, and Joel was in those. It was a lot of fun.
Am I living under a rock?
I think you are, Eliza.
Where? What?
Yeah, they did it at the public library for some kids, and we happened to have a snowstorm that day. So we only had a few kids come to that. But then later on in the day, they did it at DSU again, and they had a good audience. So it was a lot of fun.
Okay, please keep me posted on that. So on top of that, you also are writing a couple articles for the Riverways.
Yes.
Which is a beautiful paper.
Kelly does a fantastic job.
Oh, my word. Just all positivity and just so... I was reading it this morning and I just felt better.
Yeah. She does a really great job really getting into the community and meeting unique people. And different columnists. Kaylee always, gets really good interviews and stories about different places in town that I've never heard of.
Yes.
And so it's a lot of fun reading those.
Both really sweet gals.
Yes.
Well, tell us about your articles because... I know about them because I love reading them. You're a beautiful writer as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I originally Kelly contacted me. She had found Miss B's Kitchen online and wanted to talk to me about it. And so I thought, okay, she just wants to do a little story about Miss B's Kitchen and that's it. Well, we met for coffee and we sat there for 3 hours. And it ended up...
Typical coffee date.
I know, right? Exactly. Nothing out of the ordinary there. But when I left, she had asked me to write 2 articles, and it was really the first time that I had met her. I met her once before, but it was at an event, and so it was just kind of in passing. And so it was really fun to just sit down and connect and talk to her and, just learn to see her passion for Heart River Voice, where it came from. I was surprised how new it was. It's just about a year old now, from her idea to do it. January will be a year actually printing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I met her, and she asked me to write a couple columns, and so it's just sort of very quickly snowballed. It's more of an avalanche from there, but it's a lot of fun. So I write about Miss B's Kitchen. I'll do something about the kitchen and cooking and share a recipe. And then the other column is Adventure on a Dime. And so just talking about things to do in the area that don't cost a fortune, but you can go either for a date night, you can go with friends, you can bring your family and go do something fun. Because I think a lot of times in a community this size, people are just like, oh, it's so boring, there's nothing to do here. There's so much to do. You just gotta look for it and be creative. And
where do you come up with these ideas? Or do you hear about them?
All over the place. Well, I have a little bit of, help there because my husband works in tourism. So he has all the books and all the ideas and talking to all different people as they're coming through and seeing what they've done when they've come through. So we kind of take some of that because, we've only been married a year and a half. And before that, I was not this way. I love to do everything. But my husband had this list in his head of things he wanted to do, but not by himself. So now that we're married, we're doing, crossing stuff off that list and just figuring out what can we do this weekend that's not too far away. We don't have to get a hotel or anything. We can be home. What can we take our dog and do? Because not everywhere allows dogs, which I think is really sad. I mean, obviously some places shouldn't allow them, but I don't want dog hair in my food at the restaurant. But, things that we can do with him and go all over. So a lot from my husband, a lot just from people, when they find out that I do the column, I have people come up to me every once in a while. I saw your column. You're that girl who writes that adventure column. Have you thought about doing this? And they'll come up and give me suggestions. And a lot of times it's stuff I've never heard of.
That is so fun.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Because it's your job is to go have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know if it's your job, but I mean,
Yeah.
and you get to share your experiences with people and give them ideas on what to do.
Yeah.
Does that come out every month?
Every month, yeah. I write both columns every month. So if anybody has ideas for December, January, February, the really cold months around here, my husband doesn't like the cold, so winter's going to be a little bit challenging for me. I would go snowshoeing every weekend, but I don't think he will. Totally
Sorry about
fine.
my nose. My nose is kind of runny, so I was like, I'm trying not to sniffle, but I also don't want something to just
I need a Kleenex break.
So I'm just going to try to take care of this right now while we're...
You know if
I'll just eventually I'm just like this at you.
Please don't, because I won't be able to control my face.
Now we're becoming honest.
I know, right? The ice has been broken.
Yeah.
So you've had Bee's Kitchen before the article even.
Yeah, so last February I started Miss B's Kitchen because I was doing meal planning for us and just kind of not necessarily prepping ahead of time or anything like that, just planning out what I wanted to cook. And trying new recipes and all of that. And so I always enjoy doing that and then finding a recipe and going, well, I don't have 4 of the 7 ingredients, but I can make it work. What can I do instead?
Okay.
And so I was just doing that, and Joel decided he was going to push me to do this to sell my menus. And so he pushed me to do that. And again, on Valentine's Day, he set up a Facebook page and sort of forced me, this is what you're going to do. So he encouraged me to do that, and it's been a lot of fun. I've met a lot of really interesting people and helped some people who, busy moms who just don't have time to come up with new things, but they're bored with what they're doing. People who don't know how to cook. So I give them, simpler recipes that they can master without too much difficulty, but introducing new ingredients and new flavors, and it's been a lot of fun.
So, one thing, you guys are so cute because, you're helping him check off his bucket list for adventure, and he's, helping you, check some things off by making you a Facebook page and forcing you to do things.
He's very encouraging.
And, and then, too, your recipes are for sale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the menu, I build a menu, and it's 16 recipes for a month because, if we're honest, all of us go out usually once a week, or we have leftovers we're not going to eat.
Yeah.
So if you have a full menu, a lot of it's just going to go to waste. And then 2, if you buy ingredients for one recipe, you're probably going to have leftovers. So leftover ingredients as well as leftovers from the meal. So I do 4 meals on the menu per week. So then you have leftover ingredients to make something else. You have leftover food, probably going to go out once a week. So it all kind of balances out. And then I give you the menu, and each of the recipes is a link to a separate Google document with the recipe. And then there are separate links for the shopping list. Then that's divided by 2 weeks. So if you want to actually stick with that menu for 2 weeks, you have the shopping list, everything that you need for those recipes. And it's a Google document, so you can add to it and edit it for what you need. And
that's a lot of work.
It is, but it's a lot of fun.
In your article, you talk about your mom and how great of a cook she was. Is that kind of what inspired you to keep
I think
cooking?
so. I think so. And, you know, as a kid, that's not always inspiring when your mom's like, get in here, I'm going to show you how to make gravy for the 4,000th time. Okay. Got a little annoying. But her heart was in the right place. And I really did learn a lot from her. And so when I moved back home from college, I was doing a lot of the cooking and stuff. And it was hard because my dad's a meat and potatoes guy. He doesn't like anything that's gluten-free, anything that tastes a little bit different, anything too spicy. My mom wasn't too adventurous either, so I was really limited on what I could do. But now that I'm married, Joel is very much open to trying anything and everything, and so it's a lot of fun. So we get to try a lot of different things, so get to be more creative and adventurous with it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you planning on maybe inviting some people over and doing like cooking classes or?
I've done one cooking class. It was just by request. Someone had a girl come and stay with them for a little while, and she liked to cook. She was 11 years old. She liked to cook but never really got the opportunity because her older sister always did it. So she came over to the house and we did some stuff, and it was a lot of fun. I've thought about it. Right now I don't really have a lot of space, so I'm not sure. I couldn't do too many people at one time. But it's kind of in the works.
Any thoughts on maybe starting a restaurant? I know this is so like
Oh,
out there,
goodness.
but
I have
just
not
figured.
considered starting a restaurant. But I've heard a lot of people hosting meals at their house and like selling tickets, essentially, and just to come and eat at their house. I'm not sure how that would work here. I don't know. Where I've heard about it, it's been like New York City, bigger places like that. So I might look into that sometime.
Like, I'm just so excited to see what happens.
Well, hopefully some good stuff starts to happen. All of this is new stuff. Nobody on my page even knows about it. I just like keep an eye out. Some new things are coming. So you're getting the first scoop.
So where can they follow you, or where can they find you, I guess?
I'm on Facebook at Miss B's Kitchen, and it's MSBEAS Kitchen. So follow me there. And I have an Instagram, but I don't use it faithfully. So
You're really busy.
I am, but it's fun. And being new in the community, you know, I just jumped in, and my husband was a board member on 2 boards, so I joined him there. We joined the Concert Association board, and I've really, just through that, been able to meet new people, and he laughs at me, but last year, you know, I was getting involved in some things, but I work from home, so I'm not out in the community a lot unless I have a reason to go and do something. So I got on Facebook, and someone had added me to a women's group, and it was for Western North Dakota, just for girls. And so I got on there, and I just like put out an ad for a friend.
Really?
Not even joking, because it's hard, you know, when you're in a rural can't talk. When you're in a rural area, when you're in an area like Dickinson, North Dakota, it's hard to meet.
Let's rephrase this.
Yes. How can I say this again? But it's kind of hard to meet people because either they live way out of town, or, you know, they're just used to their little circle, and that's all that they do. So I just posted on this Facebook page and just a little bit about myself, and just said, you know, I'm looking for somebody with similar beliefs and interests to get to know, and let's just get together for coffee. And almost immediately, one person responded. And we got together for coffee a few weeks later, again, 2 or 3 hours sitting there over coffee, and just talking, and she's one of my best friends now.
Oh,
and
my
so
word.
It's been a lot of fun. I am very busy, but that stems from wanting to make connections in the community, because being new here, the only way to make those connections is to get involved, and, you know, not to be afraid, not to just sit at home and I don't have any friends. Go
Were you
make
nervous
friends.
though? I feel like that might be something like that's very nerve-wracking for people to do sometimes.
A little bit. I tend to be afraid of stuff like that, but then just be like, it's ridiculous to be afraid of this. It's just people. It's just, you know, so it's always going to be a little nerve-wracking the first time, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Once you hit send and post, I mean,
yeah,
you can't go back.
Yeah, exactly. It's out there forever.
You now have to have a friend.
You have to have a friend. So, but I mean, I did that, and I mean, even coming into your shop and stuff like that, and just making the effort to actually talk to someone and not just, oh, this is the person who works at the shop. That's nice. Talk to them for what I have to. Why? It's a person sitting there. Talk to them.
Yeah.
They have a story. They're interesting. They're fun.
I love that.
So you have to.
People are so interesting, and that's what's so exciting, like, about bringing people onto Tea Talks, is because it's like we really want to just get to know people, you know, and hopefully other people can listen in and also get to know that person.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't do that. They just say, hi, how are you? But they don't listen to your answer, and they don't really want to know.
This is a common thing that has been talked about in these chairs, I feel like.
Yeah, because a lot of times people don't go out to make new friends because it's intimidating. But why is it intimidating? It's because you're worried about what they're going to think about you. First of all, they don't know you from Job's turkey, so it doesn't matter what they think about you. So if you go out and make a fool of yourself, who cares? If they don't like you, you're never going to see them again.
Yeah, maybe
if
in
they
this
do
town.
like you, well, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But if they do like you, you have a friend. So
Yes.
just be yourself and get out there, and it's worth it.
So, is there anything else that you are maybe involved in?
A little bit. I'm really excited about an opportunity to wear my wedding dress again.
Yes!
So amazing. I almost wore it on my anniversary last year because it was a Sunday and we were going to church. But then I thought my husband would send me back downstairs to change. So I didn't.
You can't
but I'm
wear
super excited.
all white in your wedding dress to church
Right?
on Sunday? I just don't understand.
I don't understand the problem. My shoes aren't white, so what's the big deal?
You have like a cathedral veil. What's wrong with this?
Something's not quite right. No, but I did wear white, and I had some looks because it was in April. But then I was able to say, this is why, and all the ladies thought it was super sweet.
Oh,
So,
yay.
Wonderball. I love that. It's going to be so much fun.
So it's like it's an all-white event, kind of based around being able to wear your wedding dress again, because we wear it once, and that's our favorite dress in our closet, right?
So much, yes. Yes, but I love that you want to work with the foster system and try to raise awareness, but also help raise funds to help some of them. So I'm excited about having someone there to talk about, or at least present, ways that we can get involved if we can't foster, other ways that we can get involved to help, because that's, I think, huge. And I think a lot of people don't have any idea. They think foster, there's no possible way, and they don't even touch it. So I think it'll be good to help people in the community
I'm one
understand.
of those people. I didn't know that until we started kind of talking about what we were going to do and why we were going to do this project together. I had no idea. I thought that was the only option, but you were mentioning that you can even assist, or was it you or Candace? I can't remember, but
yeah, Candace, she was talking about, I think there's an app that you can download, and people actually volunteer to run errands for foster moms, or like keep the kids for a couple hours so they can run errands, or if they just need a little bit of a break. I mean, tons of things that you can get involved in that I had no idea. So I think it's going to be a really good event.
yeah.
So it's gonna be the dance for the women, the opportunity to come and be pampered beforehand, get their hair and makeup done, have a little photo shoot, the whole 9 yards. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yay!
Yeah. We don't really have anything like that here in Dickinson, so.
And you've planned events like before.
Yes, back home.
Before we like wrap up, can you please share that story, because that's such a beautiful event that you planned, and the reason why you did it.
Yeah. So back home, I'm from Wisconsin, and when I moved to Wisconsin, actually I moved from Michigan with my family in 1992. I was 4 years old, and that was the year that they built the new library in town, and so the Carnegie Library that they had been using for years was shut down. And it wasn't bought at the time to be turned into anything else or anything like that, and so it was just sitting empty. Well, then a few years later, the mayor at the time was wanting to kind of clean up the city by tearing down older buildings. So he was actually destroying the schools and things like that had been around for years and years, and really tearing apart the history of the area. And so a group of investors went together and bought the Carnegie Library just to save it from being torn down, which was fantastic. But it's private owners. They're not big business people or anything. They just didn't want it to be destroyed. So they bought it, and they've just been trying to do maintenance on it until someone can afford to purchase it and actually renovate it and get it to where it needs to be. So I had the idea to host a vendor show there, and it was some jumping through hoops because the building hadn't been used in so long. But in the end, we were able to book the event, and we had over 50 vendors in there. And we weren't able to use the entire library because at one time they had a fire in a room in one of the corners downstairs. So we didn't use the back half, but the front, the entry, where this massive desk was, it was like an octagon, and it was just huge and gorgeous, was right in the middle of the lobby. So we used that for vendor space, and then the 2 rooms in the front were these massive great rooms with super high ceilings and windows floor to ceiling, and all the bookshelves had been taken out. So we were able to use both of those spaces and then the front lawn and set up. And so because it hadn't been used, we had to get in there and clean and everything and help, because the guy running it, he's like, I can't do all this by myself. And the other investors all had kind of moved away and just been less involved. So we went in and helped clean, and then we decorated it and got it all ready to go. And we had over 600 people come through. But we didn't charge to come, but they were taking donations at the door to help save the building and just help them preserve the building. And so a lot of people gave generously, and we were able to help with that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I'd love to see pictures of that too.
I have some of those too.
I don't even know why I haven't asked this before.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh boy, I'm just picturing like Beauty and the Beast right now.
It was so much fun, and we went really simple because of the space that we had, and we knew the vendors would come in and bring a lot of color. We tried to do vendors that weren't like the network marketing type things. We did have some of those, but we had like local photographers come and bring some of their pictures. We had different people who like refinish furniture and people who knit and crochet, unique things, and people who like make their own salsa. And we had a couple different restaurants there, and they weren't selling food, but they were doing samples. And that food went so fast. They were not expecting that many people. I don't think the one restaurant, they had to go and come back like 2 times during the day to get it all.
For that event?
It was a fantastic event, and we had so many people coming through who were like, I remember coming here with my grandma when I was little and walking up all these stairs, and so a lot of people just came just to be in there again because it had been closed for so long. So it was a lot of fun to give people that opportunity and to hear their stories about their own history and own memories of the place. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Oh. I wish there was something like that here in town that we could use for our event, but
totally. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I wish I was at that event. It sounds amazing. Just
it was a lot of fun.
It and
yeah. Yes. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Laura Beth, so much for joining us on Tea Talks today. It's so great to hear all of the things that you're involved in. If you want to follow her, grab the Heart River Voice. It's a beautiful article. They have them all over town. Find her on Facebook. And if you're enjoying the conversations that we're having, if you have any ideas of what you'd like to hear, or if you'd like to join the show, please comment and like our page. Yay! Yay!
Good.
Was that okay? Was that too
good.
pushy?
No.
Okay.